Well, finally, after a very long wait, DuckTales is officially back. Woohoo! And they have released episode 1 and 2. No, 2 and 3, sorry. And each and every one of these episodes shows a new awesomeness. This is my review and talking about episode 2, Daytrip of Doom, which is a pretty fitting name for something like that. What seems to be just a simple trip to a arcade or a fun zone just turns into a little bit of a serious matter. Not only because Webby Gale in this episode really shines as a surprisingly well, I wouldn't say damaged child, but that child has actually lived a life that we never thought was possible. Almost like this episode seems to hint that she has gone mad from isolation, although that's just an exaggeration. I am the Angry Enemy fan, and this is my review of DuckTales Episode 2, Day Trip of Doom. Woo-hoo. It starts off with the gang of boys and Webby playing dart gun, and it turns out that Webby is all for playing the troop a little bit, including saying like, "Oh, that is that and that." My damage is like that. Scrooge is completely indifferent to that, which Mrs. Beakley do not like. But when he sees that Donald is using his bathtub to wash his clothes, he immediately decides to call in a house meeting. Oh, that is so funny. So eventually, so Scrooge cater a rule that his bathtub is off limits, while Mrs. Beakley creates her rules, showing that Mrs. Beakley is a little bit of a control freak. Then again, cleaning this place of Scrooge McDuck cannot be easy. So she's saying like, you have to do that and that, that. Donald refuses to listen to that, mostly because he is an adult. But of course, this is, you know, Donald we're talking about. A guy who's unlucky is a part of his name, so something bad always happens to the things he doesn't listen to. It is also worth noting that when Scrooge reads the morning paper, we see a news that says, Ma Beagle pardoned, crime skyrocketed. Either way, the boys decides to have a little fun elsewhere, so they, albeit reluctantly, take Webby Gale with them on a trip to a fun house zone. I say reluctantly because, well, Webby is, as I said before, this episode really shows that Webby has never ever lived the life of a normal girl, which in her age is actually can be a little bit scary. She has no idea what a fun zone is. She doesn't even know that. She knows what it's like to have fun, but she doesn't know that what it's like to have fun is usually casual things like playing a video game or, you know, going on a day trip. She has apparently not even been on a bus. This just further creates mystery of her character. Well, maybe not mystery of her character, but the way Mrs. Beakley has raised Webby. Because from even in this episode, it seems to hint that Mrs. Beakley is more than she pretends to be, but it may just be me analyzing it over a little bit. It's just that she is Mrs. Beakley extremely casual to Donald's a little bit mishaps here, and of course only gets angry when her system is being disturbed, which seems to imply she has a little bit of a control complex. But it could also very well just be that she's used to things going in her pace. She even encourages Donald to open up to her, be a little bit. Do not let you know. Do not let things. How do I put this in words? Do not be so prideful at the time. The boys take Webby to a fun zone, and of course they get banned from it because Webby, well, she is just a little bit edgy, let's just say that. But that's not exactly what this entire episode is about. No, as the boys and girls pass by a place, when they get kicked out of a bus, mind you, they get past of the Beagle Boys. the first time we see them in this new series. Big Time, Burger, and well, I of course do not know the last one. And well, they are completely different than before, although still similar. Burger is apparently the thin one. Yeah, that's extremely strange. But Big Time is also a little bit bigger than he was before, but he's still small. They decide to follow the ducklings, seeing that they recognize them as Scrooge's nephews, thinking that they can, well, kidnap them for ransom. And eventually they do kidnap them. But it's in this episode we're also introduced to Ma Beagle. And I have to say, what I mean by saying, once again, an excellent casting. All the Beagle Boys are voiced by one actor, Eric Bauza, who, as we have known, has really reached a new height of voice acting and proven himself to be an extremely versatile voice actor too. And Ma Beagle is voiced by a celebrity character actor named Martina Martindole. Of course, that's not her real name. Either way, Ma Beagle is also getting a little bit of a facelift here. And when I say facelift, I do not mean she looks gorgeous. No, 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 no. She doesn't look gorgeous at all. She's in fact more ugly than ever. What I mean by facelift is that her character is a little bit updated. Oh yeah, that was the actor's name, Margot Martindale. She has some kind of accent. I don't exactly know what that accent is. Is that Southern or is that Italian American or was it a fusion of that? Well, I didn't really watch the episode enough to see that. But Ma Beagle is introduced in this episode, kicking another guy for, well, how dare you, how dare you do that and that and that. And it then even chews out her boys, even saying it to their faces. How did someone as smart as me give birth to children like you? I mean, there's some elements from the Goonies, that abusive mother here. So what I mean to say is, while the original Mob Eagle was no saint, and certainly many times left her boys just so she could save herself, she wasn't entirely, completely just as abusive as this Mob Eagle is. Either way, the boys and girls decides to they send out a ransom note to Donald, who finally asks Beakley for help. Elsewhere, Webby proves that she can get out of ropes, saying that she did not want to be weird as the boys feared she would be. So they eventually say that we need you to be Webby normal. This showing this episode also has a little bit of a heart, saying like it's okay to be different, and sometimes you need to realize that you cannot be different in that place. But in the end, a friend is a friend, and you have to accept for what it is. So together they manage to ensnare Ma Beagle, and the Beagle Boys and her are once again arrested. Oh yeah, and Donald Duck shows that never mess with his nephews, as it really kicks a lot of people around here. So the episode ends with the boys and Webby still allowed to go to Fun Zone, just so they cannot be sued for the fact that, well, they caught a criminal when the adults could not. Well, that was not the reason why they were gonna be banned, but they threatened to sue. I mean, the boys threatened to sue them for the fact that they allowed a criminal to get into the Fun Zone full of kids. So yeah, it's basically this episode. An episode that combines a lot of comedy and heart. Scrooge has a very minor role here, mainly just being there. This is all an episode about Webby. And as I said before, Webby's sheltered lifestyle is both creepy and also a little bit sad. But it just further makes her character interesting. Just why is she living like this? What is it that Mr. Beakley hide? I mean, Mrs. Beakley hides. She probably doesn't hide anything. She's just like that. It's just that someone once said that when Donald accused her of saying, "Are you a spy?" Yes, yes, I am, or something like that. I mean, the fact that Mrs. Beakley is built such like a Brunhilde and almost looks like a secret agent makes me actually wonder if she's more than she's letting on, but that could just be me. So, what do you think about this episode? I give it an A. What, or anything like that. Give me your thoughts if you have any.